Hello everyone. Money market instrument part 2, that is financial system. In my last class I gave you the difference between capital market and money market. Now I'm trying to explain money market instruments. Money market instruments in the sense what all financial instruments normally we use in money market when it comes to lending and borrowing in money market. As I told you before, money market is a market situation where short-term funds are borrowed and lent. Short-term funds are borrowed and lent. Clear? So when you want to lend money, when you want to borrow money, obviously you need to have some instrument. Like if you want to raise money, then people definitely would ask you a document. An instrument is a document in writing through which we can transfer rights and liabilities. So in money market, when I deal with what all instruments that I have. Alright, so that is what the lecture here. So I will focus in this video only on money market instruments. Please make sure that you watch this video without fail. Call money, treasury bills, commercial paper, certificate of deposits, trade bill, bills of exchange and promissory note. First of all, for prelims question, if in case they ask you which of the following is true with respect to money market instruments, you must know first of all what all instruments that we deal with. Am I clear? What all instruments that we deal with in money market? Call money, treasury bill, commercial paper, certificate of deposits, alright, trade bill, bills of exchange and promissory note. So before I go into call money, treasury bills and those instruments, let me briefly explain what is this bill of exchange and promissory note. Slowly please, if in case any confusion is there, make sure that, let's say there are two traders. I repeat, there are two traders, trader A, trader A and trader B. Yes, so this trader A is selling goods to trader B. Yes, trader A is selling goods to trader B. So when seller is selling goods to B, B has to make a payment. So B doesn't have money. So what B will tell you, I will give you later. Then A will draw a bill of exchange. I repeat, A will draw a bill of exchange. Everybody clear? A will draw a bill of exchange and send it for acceptance. Send it for acceptance to B. Acceptance is nothing but B will sign on the bill and send it back to A. So seller is drawing the bill, he is a drawer of the bill, and buyer is accepting the bill, he is acceptor or drawee of the bill. And if in case A wanted to make the payment to, let's say, C, then this A will hand over the bill to C. C will collect money from B. So drawer, drawee, pay. Am I clear? Once again, seller is selling the goods to B. Seller has to collect the money, so B doesn't have money. So A is drawing the bill. B is accepting it and sending it back to A, and A bought the goods from C. Let's say, for example, C is a producer, A is a wholesaler. Wholesaler has to buy goods from C. So C has supplied goods to A. So A has given the same bill of exchange, which is to be collected by C from B. Drawer, drawee and pay. Everybody clear? Yes? So read that now. Is an instrument in writing, it has to be in writing. There should not be any conditions. It is signed by the maker. No, it is actually signed by the maker first, then it is signed by drawee, right? So is the drawer, is the drawee, both will sign. Directing, so he is drawing the bill and directing this fellow to make a payment. Everybody clear? To certain, maybe B will be making a payment to A if A only comes back for the payment. Otherwise, if A has endorsed it or transferred it to C and C has transferred it to D and D has transferred it to E, E will go to a payment to B. So generally bill of exchange can be transferred or endorsed unlimited number of times within 90 days. I repeat, bill of exchange can be transferred unlimited number of times within 90 days. That means B is supposed to make a payment to whoever has the bill of exchange in their hands as a bearer or holder. Let us not go very deep into law picture of it. Let us understand very clearly, B has to make a payment within 90 days. That means C, who's holding the bill of exchange, is supposed to present the bill within 90 days to whom? B. Right? Briefly. Next. So there are three parties here, drawer, drawee and pay. Promissory note. So understand like this once again. Promissory note, let's say A has borrowed money from B. I repeat, B lent money to A. There are two scenarios you need to understand. Either B lent money to A, or A borrowed money from, or A bought goods from B on credit. So there are two things here. B must have lent money, or B must have sold goods to A on credit. So A is supposed to repay that money. So who will draw this? Who will draw this carefully? A draws the promissory note. He is a maker of the note, on which he mentions very clearly, I so and so have to pay so and so amount to so and so person. So it will be given back to B. So A is a maker, B is a payee. I repeat, A is a maker, B is a payee. That means payee is the person who's supposed to whom payment is to be made. Maker is a person who made a promise because he bought the goods on credit, or E has borrowed money from B. Clear? Once again, A borrowed money from B, so A is making a promissory note. Otherwise, A bought goods from B. Whatever value of goods that he has bought, he doesn't have money, he has to make a payment later, so he gave a promissory note and that is transferred to B. B is a pay. There is a possibility B can transfer it to others, etc. etc. So promissory note, there is no definite period of time, that is called 90 days, just like a bill of exchange. Promissory note doesn't have a definite this thing, just like a bill of exchange. Whatever period of time that is mentioned on the promissory note, that will be considered as a maturity date. Alright, so same thing. So definition, if you could see, it's an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker, promisor, promisee, to pay certain sum of money or order of so and so. That means if in case B has given it to C, C will go to A and collect the money. So simply speaking here, this bill of exchange and promissory notes are the instruments which are actually used to make payments or defer payments for a certain period of time. I'm a businessman, I'm purchasing goods and services, I don't have money right now. So what am I supposed to do? I may buy some time from the person whom I bought the goods. So therefore there are two instruments, bill of exchange and promissory note. In bill of exchange there are three parties, and in promissory note there are three parties. Promissory note will be paid as per the term that is mentioned on the face of the instrument, where a bill of exchange has to be paid within 90 days. Within 90 days and within the period that is mentioned on the promissory note, any number of times it can be transferred. Everybody clear? Yes. Then we have something called note. The same thing is continued here. Promissory note is there is a promise to make a payment. Also, promissory note requires an acceptance. That means if it is bill of exchange, it has to be accepted by drawee. If it is promissory note, it need not be accepted by drawee. You have to just draw it and sign it across and give it to pay. Right? Whereas drawer of the bill of exchange, in case of bill of exchange, drawer of the bill of exchange will sign, and drawee, that is acceptor, also will sign. Here I say drawer will sign, drawee will sign. Here maker will sign, payee need not sign. Payee will sign only when payee wants to transfer it to others. Right? That is the difference I gave you in the third one. So now let's move on to money market, very important instruments, that is call money. Yes, call money. So in a very general sense, you try to understand. Please, first of all, what is this call money? On a call you will get money, and on a call you will repay the money. You might say, okay, I'll make a call to a bank, bank will send the money. Yes, bank will send the money, and bank also will make a call and you will have to repay the money. Then the question comes, sir, so this is a kind of instrument which is used for very short term payments, very short term. Many a times this kind of concept is used only for 7 days to 14 days. Okay, see here, call money is mainly used by banks. Suppose there is a bank called Indian Bank. Indian Bank has no deposits today, it doesn't have money, but there is a customer who wanted a loan. And when any bank wants money, any government wants money, any stockbroker wants money for their short term operations, within 14 days they will be able to repay it. They can just make a call because they've already got accounts there, they've already got that relationship through securities, etc. etc. So call money is a system where banks, government, stockbrokers, dealers will borrow money for a very short term, that is fortnight. See there, they borrow and lend money from each other normally daily basis. It is repayable on demand, in the sense they just call. One bank wants money from another bank. Obviously I don't think so banks would require a security. That is the process that they have. If similarly a state government or central government wants money from any commercial banks, they can just make a call because governments have that agreement, right? Yes, it is repayable on demand within generally. So normally this call money market is a market where money is borrowed and lent only for very short term, that is 7 days to 14 days. Okay, the rate of interest vary from city to city, depends on the demand. Sometimes it can be 14%, 18%, etc. It is highly profitable for the lenders because it's borrowed for a very short term, and it will come back in a very short term, that is maximum 14 days, right? Treasury bills. The bills of exchange is just like companies need money, governments also need money. When government issues bills of exchange, they are called treasury bills. These are also called gilt-edged securities, and government normally issue these bills for 90 to 91 days. That is, within 91 days, government would be able to repay. So it's a promissory note issued by RBI. That means when government, that is state government or central government, when state or central government would like to borrow money, when state or central government would like to borrow money, what is the security that they give? So the security is a bill of exchange, that is called treasury bill. This is a bill which is issued to a person who lends money to government for a short-term requirements. So whenever government, state government or central government borrows money, who will borrow on behalf of state and central government? That is Reserve Bank of India. So you cannot sell treasury bills of central or state government unless and until you take the help of Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India is the main source through which these bills are sold for a short term, normally 91 days. And if in case government is not in a position to repay these bills within 91 days at the interest rate that is decided, they might extend it to 182 days. If in case this is not paid even in 182 days as well, maximum period of time for which treasury bill repayment can be extended is 364 days. That's what the story here. So these are highly liquid instruments, in the sense anytime you can, like suppose you kept money in the form of treasury bill, and any point of time you can sell them in the market and take money, no issues. These bills are normally issued at a price less than the face value and redeemed at the face value. In the sense, suppose if face value is 10,000, these are issued at less than face value. Everybody clear? That means if the 10,000 is there, it is issued at 9,000, but when I repay, I will give you 10,000, which means 1,000 rupees is the profit. Clear? I repeat once again. When I issue a bill, they are issued at a less than face value. Face value on the bill is 10,000, but it is issued at 9,000. At the time of repayment, they will give face value. That means investor invested only how much? 9,000, but he's getting back how much? 10,000. Understood? That is, face value is 10,000, but investor paid only 9,000, but at the time of repayment, government paid 10,000. That difference itself is the profit for an investor, whoever is investing. So it's very clear. So the difference between issue price and face value is basically the interest rate on the investment that anybody who invests in treasury bills will earn. Yes, these are highly guaranteed because they are issued by government. Interest rate normally will be very reasonable, better than savings rate of interest. Okay. Clear? These bills are secured instruments and are issued for a period not exceeding. So 91, 182, 364. Clear? I mean, these are the days. I mean, even after 364 days, generally, even after 364, if government is not in a position to repay these bills at any point of time, what happens? Very simple. These bills will be converted into bonds by the government with a fixed rate of interest, maybe 2 years, 1 year, etc. etc. It's like when I'm not able to pay within 91 days, I will convert them into 182 increasing interest rate. If in case I'm not able to pay in 182 days, I will convert them into 364 maximum. As long as they are paid before 364 days, they will be continuously called as treasury bills. The moment government is not in a position to repay them within 364 days, government will extend the period and convert them into bonds. Then maybe 2 years, 3 years, like that, with fixed rate of interest, it will do. So this is what is called servicing the debt when government is not in a position to repay. That is the point. Clear? Then banks, financial institutions, corporations normally play a major role in treasury bills. That means who will actually participate? Who will buy these? Government wants money. Government wants money. Government wanted to raise money. When government wanted to raise money, who will actually do this? Okay, banks, financial institutions, these people will buy, means they will invest in government. And government will repay. This is how they make profit. Next, commercial paper. Remember one very important thing. When company wants money, company can raise money in the form of shares, in the form of bonds, in the form of debentures. Another source through which companies can raise money is commercial paper. Everybody clear? Commercial paper. It is like a promissory note issued by a company. I repeat, it is like a promissory note issued by company. Then the face value minimum they will start with 5 lakhs, a multiple of minimum they can start with 25 lakhs and a multiple of 5 lakhs. That means when I purchase a commercial paper, it's like I have invested money in the company. It is a promissory note. Whatever period of time that is mentioned on that note will be the time within which they will repay the money. So companies will try to raise money by issuing commercial papers as promissory notes. Third point you see, it was introduced in 1990. It can be issued for a period of 15 days to 1 year. You understood now? That's why it is in money market, because money market normally deals with short term. Yes, commercial papers are transferable by endorsement and delivery. Understand these 2 points clearly. I repeat these 2 points, please do understand. I bought a commercial paper from a company, which means I have invested money. Yes, I bought commercial papers from the company, which means I have invested money. Let's say 25 lakh rupees face value commercial paper I bought. They must have clearly mentioned on the promissory note how much is the interest rate they would be paying after so and so time. What if I want money before that date? I can transfer it to others. How will you transfer? If I have a commercial paper, how will I transfer? There are two ways. If in case on that commercial paper your name is not mentioned, then that is called bearer instrument. I repeat, on the commercial paper, your name was not mentioned, but every company seal is there, company everything is there, but your name is not mentioned, which means any holder can carry it. So you should be very careful, because when you lose it, anybody can claim the money. If it is bearer instrument, where there is no money of the person who invested, that can be transferred from one person to another person by just delivery, just handover. It's like you are handing over the book to another person. But when commercial paper is issued in the name of you, that means when you have given money to the company, you mention very clearly it should be in favor of your name. That means your name is there, which means you only can claim money from the company after maturity. What are you supposed to do? You should sign at the back of the instrument or on the face of the instrument if there is a space at the bottom of the instrument. I repeat, if in case your name is there, on the instrument, which means that is issued in the name of you, so you cannot simply transfer it without signing. So you have to sign at the back of the instrument or sign on the face of the instrument and hand it over to another person, that is endorsement. So commercial papers can be transferred either by endorsement or by delivery. The highly reputed companies, blue chip companies, majorly IT companies, and the companies which are extremely doing very well in the market and earning a lot of profit, these kind of companies can definitely go ahead with what commercial papers. All right, it's a promissory note issued by companies. Other details at what range they will issue, we'll see later. Certificate of, just like companies issues promissory note, that is called commercial paper, banks also will issue promissory note, that is certificate of deposits. Everybody clear? I repeat, just like companies issue promissory note, that is commercial paper, banks and financial institutions will issue a promissory note which is called certificate of deposits. That means basically what happens, they must have received deposits. Depending on the deposits that they have received, based on that they will issue. So these are short-term instruments issued by commercial banks and financial institution, which are also transferable to others if in case you want to transfer. That means what? I want to invest money in the bank. So I can also take a promissory note from the bank called certificate of deposit. I gave 25 lakhs. I got CD worth of 25 lakhs on which interest, everything, maturity is mentioned. So if I want money in between, I can also sell it. The maturity period ranges from 91 days to 1 year maximum. Clear? This is what. So it's like, see, traders normally go for promissory note, companies normally go for a promissory note which is called commercial paper, and banks will go for a promissory note which is called certificate of deposits. Everybody clear? Yes. Now when it comes to the last one, that is trade bill. Trade bill. See there. Normally traders buy goods from wholesalers and manufacturers on credit. That means most of the sellers will buy goods from manufacturers on credit, in the sense they won't pay. The sellers get payment after the end of the credit period. But if any seller does not want to wait or etc., when buyer accepts the bill, that means this I told you in the beginning. A bill of exchange is something. Traders bill, in the sense when traders would like to buy goods from manufacturers, if traders are not in the position to pay money on spot, sellers will draw the bill of exchange and give it to the buyer. Buyer will accept the bill. There is a maturity period. Yes. So it's like this. I'm a trader. I bought the goods from manufacturer. I don't have money to pay. So manufacturer has drawn the bill, gave it to me. I signed it, which means I accepted, and again I gave it to whom? I gave it to the manufacturer. It's like this. Once again, I'll show you, please understand. So we have trader, we have manufacturer, right? So this fellow is purchasing goods, this fellow is supplying goods. So this trader is supposed to make a payment, he doesn't have money. He wants money. So what do? He draws promissory note and gives, bill of exchange and sends it to this fellow for an acceptance. Trader will sign on the bill and return it back to manufacturer. Then what happens is manufacturer wants money. So trader will pay within a certain, maybe 90 days, he will pay, right? Whatever time. But until trader pays, if he wants money, what he does? He will go to bank. He will go to bank, show the same bill which is accepted by trader and get loan from the bank. When manufacturer presenting the bill of exchange which is signed by trader in the bank and getting the loan, it is called discounting of bill of exchange. I repeat, when the holder of the bill goes to bank and presenting the bill as a security and takes the loan, it is called discounting. See the fourth point, this trade bill can now be discounted with the bank before maturity. That means bank will give money to manufacturer, but ultimately money has to be given by whom? Trader. Trader will make a payment to banker within the maturity. Everybody clear? And the banks want money, they will go to RBI. You understood now? Banks will present all these bills with RBI and it is called rediscounting rate. In other words, RBI lends money on the bills which are already discounted by commercial bank. So that is why we also call this rate as bank rate. So RBI lends money to banks on bills, that is discount rate, rediscount rate or a bank rate. Banks lend money to traders, that is discount rate. So that's how it happens. So we have, once again I'm telling you, bill of exchange is a normal trade bill kind of definition I gave you. Promissory note, there are two parties, okay, and call money is for very short run, that is for 14 days, 7 days to 14 days. Treasury bills are normally issued by government, and on behalf of government, Reserve Bank of India will issue these bills. Normally they are issued for 91 days, otherwise they will be extended up to 182 days, otherwise they will be extended maximum up to 364 days. Even after 364 days, if a government is not in a position to repay the money on treasury bills, they will be converted normally into bonds. Right? Commercial paper is a promissory note which is normally issued by corporates to raise money for a short term. Yes, they are transferable freely. Then certificate of deposits are a promissory note which are issued by banks and financial institutions to raise money for short term. And trade bill is the bill normally which is drawn by manufacturer on the buyer, and the buyer will accept it and send it to manufacturer. Manufacturer, when he wants money, he will go to bank and get it discounted. When I say get it discounted, showing the bill as a security and get money from the bank, and bank will collect from the trader who's actually supposed to pay because he signed on the bill. And if these banks have a proof that they have lent a lot of money to the traders because business is being facilitated, these banks can go to RBI. It is called rediscount rate. In other words, we also call it as bank rate, at which Reserve Bank of India lends money to commercial banks. Capital market instruments, I will cover it up in the next video. Please go through. Any doubts, I request you please ask me. Don't feel hesitated. Please kindly ask me any doubts that you have. Alright, thank you so much. Take care.